Hello, everyone, and welcome to IELTS Insider. My name is James, and today we are going to be looking at some useful phrases for the IELTS speaking and writing tests. Now, these phrases are primarily for the speaking test, but there are some of them that we can also use to help our writing as well. So we're going to kind of cover two different parts of the test in today's lesson. We will be doing a short introduction, then we'll look at some of these useful phrases, and we will have some time to practice. And I hope some of you will write some of your sentences in the chat. And then we can look at those sentences and judge if you have used the vocabulary in the correct way. I will be giving a short test at the end of today's lesson, just before I give you some homework, which you can complete in the comment section of the video on YouTube. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Before we do any of that, we've got lots and lots of comments coming in. So let's look at some of these comments. We've got, okay, James, I will hear. So I think Safari, I am here would be a better sentence there. But it's nice to see you, Safari. And Layla is saying, hi, James. And she's also saying, how have you been? Well, Layla, I've been quite busy. At the moment, I am on vacation visiting my family in the UK. So it has been quite hectic since I have been here. So how have you been, Layla? I hope you have been very well. And Sleepwalker saying hello, everyone. Hello, Sleepwalker. And James, hi. Thank you. And we're all being very nice again today, all the members. Speaking to each other in the chat. That's excellent. And I think this is a conversation with Sleepwalker and Layla here. It's going all right, thank you. How are you? Very nice response here, Sleepwalker. And we've got Romdon saying, hi, everyone. Hi, Romdon. How's it going? Yeah, it's going okay today. We're it's Sunday, midday in the UK just now. So I think after this live stream, I'll maybe go and visit some of my family, maybe go and see my brother or something. Sleepwalker is saying, James, I have a question about our homework under the video 10 tips to increase your IELTS band score. Maybe, oh, the correct answers. You're correct, Sleepwalker. I haven't posted the correct answers yet. Thank you for reminding me. I will do that later today. As I said, I am on holiday just now. Things have been quite hectic, so I will post those answers later today, Sleepwalker. Thank you for reminding me. And Romdon, hello. We've got lots of hello. Anna Maria, hello, James. Hello, Anna Maria. I hope you are well today. Sleepwalker saying we can hear and see you. Excellent. That's very important. Thank you, Sleepwalker. And remember to like all. Very good. I was just about to put that up, Robin. So please remember to click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. As always, guys, thank you very much for your support. It means a lot to us. So What else do we have here? Layla is saying, I am doing well. That's great to hear. And Kumar is here. Hello, James R. We'll just go with hello, James. Yeah. And yes, I was checking them. Okay, Sleepwalker, I will do that today. Um, okay, so Kumar's original statement should have been, hello, James, are you okay? Yes, I am doing very well. Thank you, Kumar. And Lavanya's here, and Lavanya's saying, hello, James. Hello, Lavanya. Um, Great you had a holiday. Well, sometimes when you visit home, it doesn't really feel like a holiday, Layla. So yeah, it's a kind of holiday, but yeah. Okay. I'm very good, James, and happy to be here. Great. Anna Maria and Sleepwalker saying hello to Lavanya. And we're getting nice responses back. Okay, everyone, very nice to see everybody in the chat. And we are going to go on with today's lesson. And as I said before, today's lesson is primarily about speaking phrases, but these phrases, most of them can be used with writing as well. So there's going to be kind of 5 groups of phrases that we can use um, in the IELTS speaking and writing test. So as we know, the IELTS test can be an intense experience. Things are coming very quickly. We have to be well prepared. We have to be at our best. And during the test, it is very easy to lose your place and panic. So, some of the expressions we're going to learn today can help you regain your composure by just giving you a little bit of structure and kind of giving you a way to start your answers without really thinking. So, a lot of these expressions are good ways to buy time, buy thinking time in the exam. So these expressions can provide structure to your answers as well. This helps with your fluency and coherence. Also, using a variety of the expressions I'm going to teach today can improve your lexical resource score. So, as we have seen in previous videos, and if you haven't seen these videos, I would encourage you to go onto our YouTube channel and look at some of the videos we have given on the IELTS speaking test, writing test, and the test format in general, because it explains what a lot of these terms mean. But 2 very important things on the speaking test and also on the writing test is your fluency and coherence and the vocabulary that you use, also known as your lexical resource. So, the expressions we're going to look at can really help with these scores in the IELTS speaking test. So let's get started and look at 5 types of phrases that can help your IELTS speaking score and also your IELTS writing score. Now, the first group of phrases I am going to look at today, these are only related to the speaking test. The other 4 groups are useful for both the speaking and the writing. But the first group is only for the speaking test. And this first group of phrases are all around the idea of clarifying the question. So, sometimes in the speaking test, there may be some questions that you don't fully hear or you don't fully understand. And some students just panic in this situation? And they usually have a few different responses. Some people will panic and say nothing. Now, that is the worst thing that you can do in the speaking test. You don't want to have silence. The examiner is looking to judge your speaking ability. So, that's the first thing people do. Another thing people do when they panic is they answer just any question. They just think, oh, I heard this word, I'm going to give an answer. Don't do that either. So, what you need to do is don't panic. You haven't understood the question or you haven't fully understood the question. It's okay to ask the examiner to repeat what they have said. Now, a lot of people think, oh no, if I ask them to repeat, they're going to think my English is bad. And no, don't think that way. This happens every day in conversations with native English speakers. We don't quite catch what somebody says, so we ask them to either repeat the question or we kind of tell them, I'm sorry, I don't understand. Or we maybe ask someone to rephrase a question. So I've got some useful phrases for you to do this. So if this happens to you in the IELTS speaking exam, don't panic. We can always use some of these questions. So if we just want to let the examiner know that we didn't understand, we could just say, I'm sorry, I didn't fully understand the question. Or, I'm afraid I didn't quite catch that. So that's two ways that we can let the examiner know that we didn't know what they were asking. And if we use these phrases, usually the examiner is going to either rephrase the question or just repeat the question again. And this is completely fine to do in the exam. As I said before, it's part of natural speech. People don't always understand every word people say. Now, we've also got some phrases here. If you want the examiner to repeat the question again, we've got three different ways to do this. We could say, I'm sorry, would you mind repeating the question? This is a very formal way to ask them to repeat. And I think it's always good to try to use formal English in the speaking exam. We could also say, could you repeat the question, please? Or could you say that again, please? Again, by using could you, it's giving your question formality and politeness. If you kind of understand the question, but there's maybe one part of it that you don't quite understand. So you could then ask them to explain the question further. Could you explain what you mean by? So let's say they use the word deterioration. So deterioration means to get worse. So something gets worse. So maybe you don't understand that word deterioration. So you could ask them, could you explain what you mean by deterioration? And they would say, yes, deterioration means to get worse. So again, this is okay. If there's just one small thing in the question you don't understand, you can ask them to explain that further. So the important thing I think with these phrases are it's okay. The examiner is not going to judge you badly because you don't understand something. As long as you can let them know that you don't fully understand what they've said and you ask in a polite way, they will either repeat or rephrase the question, and then the conversation can move on. As I said before, the worst thing you can do is panic and be quiet, or panic and just answer any question. So that is the first group of useful phrases that we are looking at. Um, and they are for clarifying the question. So, as I said before, these expressions are only to be used in the IELTS speaking exam. The other four groups of phrases we're going to talk about today can be used in the speaking and the writing part of the exam. So before we go on to the second part, we're getting a lot of comments. Um, let's see, where was the last one? Oh, so many comments today. Right. Sally Mae is here. She's saying hello, James, and hello, Sally Mae. Sleepwalker saying hello to you and hi, friends. How are we? Good, good. All's good. And Bubakar is here. Hello, how are you all? We are doing very well, I think, Bubakar. I hope you are well today as well. Grace is here and saying hello, guys. Hello, Grace. And you're getting a lot of hellos from Anna Maria and Sleepwalker. Anna Maria is saying it's good we can ask for clarification. Yeah, a lot of students just seem to think that this is going to be a very negative thing and is going to kind of make them look like they can't speak or understand English well. That's not the case. And in some cases, it's the complete opposite. It's such a natural thing to do. If you don't understand something, you say, I'm sorry, what do you mean by that? Or I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't quite understand. It's part of natural speech. So yeah, it is something we can do. Layla is saying if a student gets panicked, should stop thinking a little and tries to clarify or simplify the idea. Now, I think clarify would be more common. I don't think they're going to simplify the idea. Maybe sometimes if you were to ask the question, um, what was the question we had before here? So could you explain what you mean by yes? They might then simplify the type of vocabulary that they have used. But yes, Layla, we stop and think a little. If we still don't have it, we can use one of these phrases and ask the examiner to repeat that again. Eunice is here. Hello, teacher. Hello, everybody. Hello, Eunice. I hope you are very well today. And Anna Maria and Sleepwalker are also saying hello. Hello, everyone. Bubakar is saying, we've got a very, very friendly group here today. Lots of Robin is saying deterioration. So that's the word that I was using in my example. Deterioration means to get worse or something increases in quality. And lots more hellos coming in from everyone here. Do we have any questions coming in? Okay, Bubakar, teacher, thanks. I want to speak English very well, and understand. Well, Bubakar, you are in the correct place. We have some very good videos for you on our YouTube channel. We have live streams, usually 4 or 5 times a week. And you can also go and check out our website and other social media, and you'll find lots of useful ways that you can help improve your English. And Queenie is saying hi. Hi, Queenie. And Mirnwata, hello, James. Are you from the UK? Yes, I am from the UK. I'm from Scotland, which is the northernmost country in the UK. And actually, I am there just now. I am in the UK at the moment. Okay, excellent. We've caught up with our comments. And as I said before, this first group of phrases are only to be used in the IELTS speaking exam. Our next group of phrases can be used in both IELTS speaking and IELTS writing. And I think from tip 2 to tip 5, you can think about using all of these. So the second tip is about using opening statements. So a good opening statement can help impress the examiner and get you off to a solid start. Now, there are two different ways you can do this, or you can use these two different ways together. But by using this, it gives you a kind of um, a platform where you can then go on to give your full answer. So once you hear the question, we can use some introduction phrases like, that's a great question, or I'd have to say that, and then go on, or let me tell you about, or I'd like to talk about. So let's say the examiner asks you, can you tell me about your hometown? So you could start with something like, well, that's a great question. My hometown is called whatever, and you could go on. Or if the question was something about, talk about someone that is important in your life. You could start by saying, I'd like to talk about my father. He is very important in my life. So these introduction phrases can be very, very useful just to get you started. So again, a lot of time you get some sort of mind blank. Everything goes blank and you cannot think of what you want to say. Having one of these useful phrases here can just be a way to get you started and give you a little bit of extra time to think. So, some very useful phrases. Now, also, another thing we can do here is restate part of the question at the beginning of your answer. So, let's say the examiner is saying, talk about what you usually do at the weekend. Well, we could start by saying, well, that's a great question. Then, I usually play badminton at the weekend. So we're using the same type of grammar and we're just restating the question. So here, if we look at the underlined parts, they are matching up. What do you usually do at the weekend? I usually play something at the weekend, or I usually go to a restaurant, or I usually work. So using the question that has been asked and rephrasing it in the answer is another useful way that we can start our answers. If we look here, tell me about a great teacher you have had. So we listen to the grammar that's been used in the question, and we can use that in the answer. I've had many great teachers, but if I had to choose one, it would be, and you would give the name of your teacher. So again, we are rephrasing the question in the answer. Very, very useful thing to do to give you a nice opening statement. We've also got, where do you like to go shopping? And here we can just rephrase, I like to go shopping in department stores. So, rephrasing the question can be a really good way to get you started in your answers. We can also use some of these introduction phrases and then maybe go on to use some of these phrases that are restating the question. So, I think this is a good time to get some of you practicing. So, I have given you 3 examples. Now, I want you to try and answer these questions with your own information. So, talk about what you usually do at the weekend. Well, my answer was I usually play badminton at the weekend. I want your answers. What do you usually do at the weekend? Again, tell me about a great teacher you have had. My answer was I've had many great teachers, but if I had to choose one, it would be, and then your answer. Where do you like to go shopping? I like to go shopping in department stores. That was my answer. What is your answer? So, for these 3 questions, I want you to write your answers into the chat so we can use the same structure I have shown, but obviously you would change some of the information. So I'll give you some time, write some answers into the chat, and we will check some of the answers that come in. We will look at some of the grammar. So, 1, 2, 3 questions. Let's write your answers. Now, while you are writing your answers, I am going to go through some of the other comments that have come in here. Romdon is saying, Mr. James, how can I get a British accent? Um, I think another question would be as well, why would you want a British accent? Because the accent that you use naturally is your accent. So by copying other people and trying to recreate a British accent, I don't think is so necessary. Speaking in your natural accent is fine. However, if you really want to study the British accent, there are many different British accents. A good way to start is by watching some British TV shows, listening to BBC News, listening to British radio stations, listening to the way they speak, the pronunciation of the words, the intonation, and maybe try to copy that pronunciation and intonation. However, I don't think it's necessary. I, I think it's more important that you speak with good grammar, good vocabulary, and good pronunciation rather than trying to copy another accent. Bubakar, what's a proper noun? Okay, so we got a grammar question. So proper nouns, we would be thinking. Um, actually, I'm not sure what a proper noun is. So let's go. Proper noun. Yeah, a being or a thing. So something that's described. That's what I thought it was. A proper noun is something describing a thing or a person. That's what we mean by that. Miranwati, you are really clear in speaking, James. You are not like other people in UK. It is very difficult for me to understand when they are speaking. Well, the UK has a lot of different accents, Miranwati. So yeah, some people speak very clearly, some people not, some people speak quickly, some people speak slowly. It really depends from person to person. Some British people are very easy to understand. Some are more difficult. I suppose if you're having difficulty to understanding the British accent, try listening to more people using that accent, news programs, documentaries. Try to become more familiar with that. Um, which is correct, at the weekend or on the weekend? There's no difference. Both of them are acceptable. At the weekend is more commonly used in the UK. On the weekend is more commonly used in the US, but both of them are, because sometimes I will say on the weekend, sometimes I will say at the weekend. But yeah, generally, at the weekend is more commonly used in the UK. On the weekend is more commonly used in the US. Okay, we've got our first answer from Layla. I usually spend my weekend gathering with my family. I think we would, rather than gathering here, I would change this with meeting my family and doing some activities. Moreover, I attend a drawing course. Um, Good use of a word we're going to use later on today, Layla. So yeah, I would change this a little bit. I usually spend my weekend meeting my family and doing some activities. Moreover, I attend a drawing course. That's a good question. I have always had many different hobbies, but lately I prefer to spend time learning English, jogging, and reading at the weekend. I think this is a very good answer, Sleepwalker. So, this is a nice little introduction sentence. I have always had many different hobbies. So, you're giving a little bit of background, which is great. But lately, I prefer to spend time learning English, jogging, and reading at the weekend. I think that's an excellent answer. Um, Bubakar, the WhatsApp link is in the video description. So if you go to the WhatsApp link, and it will take you to a form that you have to fill in, and then you can join the IELTS Insider WhatsApp group. So go to the video description and you can find the WhatsApp group link. Now, I will not be giving you my individual WhatsApp number. I do not respond to personal texts. So any questions you have about IELTS, you can post them on the IELTS Insider WhatsApp group. We have lots of members who are all very helpful, and we can answer a lot of your questions on there, Bubakar. Anna Maria, I usually study English at the weekend and go out with my father on Sundays. Excellent answer here. Perfect grammar being used. Grace is saying, I spent time. Now, you have used a past tense verb here, spent. We are talking about regular activities. So we want to use the present simple form of the verb. So rather than spent, we should have spend, D at the end. So I spend time with my family on the weekend. So I think that would be better there. Spent changed to spend. Layla is saying, I have to say, I usually spend my weekends. So again, rather than gathering with, meeting my family. Okay, meeting would be better. But yeah, so this part is good. Or drawing course, very nice. So I would just change gathering with to meeting my family. Pretty much I spend pretty much all Saturday and Sunday with my family. On the weekend, we are usually going to now. We are usually going is a problem. When we're using the word usually, it's talking about a repeated action. And the grammar tense that we use for repeated actions would be the simple present. You have used the present continuous here, which we usually use for things happening now or for future arrangements. So we need to change this grammar a little bit here. We usually go to the park or shop for some groceries in the superstore. So I would change this to on the weekend, we usually go to the park or shop for some groceries in the superstore. So apart from that small thing, that's a good sentence here. Anna Maria, a great teacher I have is Robin. I have learnt a lot since I knew him on. Now here we could change this. We're using since, so we want to change the grammar here. So not since I knew him, we would say since I have known him. Since I have known him. So I have learnt a lot since I have known him. I wouldn't put April. And I am really trying to do things to have a good performance on IELTS. So I would maybe, yeah, take out April. So I have learned a lot of things since I have known him, and I really try to do things to have a good performance on IELTS. So a few small things in that sentence there, Anna Maria. Okay, I usually spend my weekend for study only and learn. Um, we need to change for to two. I usually spend my okay, actually, I would change this to ing. I usually spend my weekend studying and learning. I think that would be much better here. I usually spend my weekend studying and learning. Oh, this is good. So here's another way to approach this. Sleepwalker is giving something that she did do in the past, but then this has changed. So she's using the grammar tense used to. And used to explains an activity we did regularly in the past, but we have stopped doing that now. So very nice. I used to go to the gym, but when the pandemic started, it was closed so no one could visit. To this day, I can't bring myself to start going there again. That's an excellent example sentence there, Sleepwalker. This is talking about regular activities in the past, but things have changed now. Very, very good. I've had several now, here, Layla, several and many are the same. So I would choose just one of those words. I've had several great teachers, or I've had many great teachers. So we would just choose one of those words. But if I have to choose one, it would be Robin, who has been teaching for about 4 years. He is very helpful. Excellent. I would put in me between teaching and for, who has been teaching me for about 4 years. He is very helpful. Oh, I hope Robin's watching today. He's getting lots and lots of great comments. I usually spend my weekend meeting my family. Excellent, Layla. I usually Now, here we can take this away. We don't need for. I usually go shopping to the closest mall to my house because I really don't like going that far. Traffic here is complicated and I prefer to spend that time out of traffic jams. Excellent sentences there, Anna Maria. We just need to take out for, and that's great. I usually go shopping. I usually spend my weekend going to the beach and spending time with my family. Excellent sentence, Lavanya. Sometimes I enjoy watching movies. Another perfect sentence. Really, really good. Ali is here and Ali is saying hello, everyone. Since I have known him, yeah, that's great. At the weekend, I usually, now again, we don't want to use an ing verb here, Eunice. I usually do. So at the weekend, I usually do many different tasks, such as planning football and taking some trips around the city. I think you mean playing football and taking some trips around the city. So, yep, just a few things to change there. I usually do many different tasks, such as playing football. Good. Sleepwalker. I started learning English on YouTube. I use the channel of one Russian teacher. Lately, I've been learning a lot on Robin's channel. He works very hard. I appreciate his work very much. There's another Robin fan. Very good. Sleepwalker, some excellent sentences again. And Sleepwalker saying, thank you, James. You're welcome. Oh, here's Robin. Oh, Robin's being very, very modest here. I learned everything I know about teaching from James. Oh, but yes, Robin must be feeling very nice just now with all the positive comments towards him. And Robin is a great teacher. I agree with all of you there. Layla, that's a great question. However, I am not a fan of shopping. I only like to go shopping for buying. Now, here I would change for buying to buy. So I only like to go shopping to buy some necessary stuff by going to close grocery stores. And now, again, I would change close here, take this away by going to grocery stores which are close to my house. So if we go through that again, however, I'm not a fan of shopping. I only like to go shopping to buy some necessary stuff by going to grocery stores which are close to my house. So a few small things in there. Oh, thank you, Anna Maria. You are also a great teacher, James. You make English easy and all of your sentences are very clear. Thank you very much, Anna Maria. Lavanya, I enjoy playing with my friends at the weekend because I have more time for badminton and cycling. Now, usually when we're using the word playing, it's going to be followed by a sport or something like that, unless we are a small child. So when we are children, we could say, I play with my friends. Um, when you're a little bit older, we usually change playing to hanging out. So maybe I enjoy hanging out, or in this case, you could say playing sports. I think that might be a better thing to do because you actually are talking about sports. So I would just change this, Lavanya. I enjoy playing sports with my friend at the weekend because I have more time for badminton and cycling. There is no, oh, Layla, James, an awesome teacher who spends a lot of time and makes great efforts. Thank you very much, Layla. Yeah, the present simple tense for the verb after usually. Yeah. If we're using words like usually, never, always, we're going to be following with the present simple. So do, play, go, and so on. Sleepwalker saying, I don't really like to shop online, so I go to malls. It will take a long time there if I go on the weekend. There are a lot of people there and fitting rooms are busy. Yep, I would just add in the before fitting rooms and the rest of your sentence is really, really good, Sleepwalker. I have many great teachers. So I have had many great teachers who has been teaching me for about 4 years. Yep. So this second part, Layla, really good. This first part, we need to put in the word had. I have had many great teachers. And Grace is saying, I usually watch Robin's channel and my favorite teacher is Esther, other than Robin. However, recently I have another favorite teacher and his name is James. Thank you very much, Grace. So I think we have some great sentences there. Yes, Layla, I have had, correct in that one. So we have lots of good practice, and this is a great way to start your answers in the speaking test, especially. These phrases can also be useful when it comes to writing if the question is in a similar way to the ones that I have shown. So I think we were going to do some more practice, but I think we're going to move on to the next part. Oh, before we go on to tip 3 here, Sleepwalker's saying, James, you explain everything very clearly. It is noticeable that you prepare thoroughly for all of our lessons. Thank you very much. Well, thank you for noticing, Sleepwalker. I do try to prepare as much as I can and try to think about the problems that may come up during a live lesson. So thank you for that comment, Sleepwalker. Teacher, usually plus do, present tense, usually. So, yeah, when we use usually, we are not going to follow it with ing. No. So, I usually play soccer. I usually teach students. Never I usually playing soccer. No. I usually teaching students. No. So, it's following with the simple present. Grace, I have a very bad line connection now. I think I need to leave before it comes worse. Thanks, James. You are welcome, Grace, and I hope you can get your connection sorted out soon. Yes, I guess it takes a lot of time. Yeah, it does take some time to prepare these lessons, but yeah. So let us move on, and we're going on to the third thing today, which is closing statements. And closing statements are very useful in the writing test. They are also very useful in part 2 of the speaking test. Part 2 of the speaking test, you are going to be speaking about a topic for between 1 or 2 minutes. Having a good closing statement can let the examiner know I have finished my speaking part, and then it can allow them to start speaking again. So it's very useful in part 2 of the speaking test and the writing test as well. So let's look at some useful conclusion statements. So when it's coming to the end, we can use words like in conclusion, or to sum up, or to summarize, or even things like therefore, or so, that's why. All of these are letting the examiner know that your answer is coming to the end. It's a really useful marker to prepare the examiner. If we're thinking about part 2 of the test, once you have finished speaking, the examiner will ask you some follow-up questions. So if you're giving them a clear marker that your answer is coming to the end, there's not going to be an uncomfortable pause. And then you're saying something like, oh, I finished. We don't want to be doing that. So using one of these phrases can be a really useful way to bring your answer to a natural conclusion, a natural end. So let's look at some example sentences. Let's say you've been talking about the most important thing in your life, and that is spending time with your family. Maybe you have given an answer and given lots of good reasons. Then we could say at the end, in conclusion, I believe that spending time with my family is the most important thing in my life. Another way we can say this, to sum up, I think that family time is an essential part of my life. We're saying the same thing, we're just paraphrasing it. We're saying it in a different way. To summarize, spending time with my family is central to me and the way I live my life. Again, just a different way to say the same thing. So by using these phrases, you're just giving a clear idea of you're wrapping up your part of speech. Also, these can be useful in the writing section when you're writing your personal essay. We want to finish with summary sentences, summarizing basically what you have spoken about, and then just giving a nice, clear ending to your essay. So, yeah, in conclusion, to sum up, to summarize, therefore, or so that's why, all really useful ways we can do that. So, again, therefore, I think my family are a key part of my life, and spending as much time with them as I can makes me happy. Same meaning of the sentence, just worded differently. So that's why I enjoy meeting my family as often as I can. So, very, very useful phrases if we are coming to the end of a speech or coming to the end of our writing. We want to let the examiner know that we are about to finish. Okay, let's see. Um, and Ali is saying, okay, teacher, thanks. Very good. I first saw Shaw English on YouTube about 2 months ago. I first saw Esther. So, okay, I would just say take out teacher. I first saw Esther's videos after. N- Okay, I'm not sure what we mean here. So, I first, meaning you saw them first, but if you're saying after Robin's videos, that would mean that you saw Robin's videos first. So this is a little bit confusing here. So maybe I would say I saw Esther's videos after Robin's videos, might be better. This is such a nice basic English learning platform. Now I am learning IELTS with James. I would say with James. That's why, and that is why is the same thing. Yeah. So that's why is just that is why, and it has been contracted. That is being shortened to that. So it's the same thing. I think when you are writing, don't use this. When you are writing, you should always try not to use contractions, always use the full words. When you're speaking, this is much more common. That's why. So I think that would be the only difference I would see here. More common when you're speaking, always use this when you are writing. Um, What about to wrap up? Now, to wrap up means the same thing. However, I think for the especially for the IELTS writing, I think to wrap up is a little bit too informal. So to wrap up is fine. I think in the speaking part, I think to wrap up would be okay, but maybe it's a little bit informal for the writing part. Lavanya is saying, Um, thank you, all teachers. Excellent. Very good. Is the phrase honestly speaking good for IELTS? I don't really know about this. I can only give you my personal opinion on this, and I don't like honestly speaking. Because when somebody says honestly speaking, I always think, so before you weren't speaking honestly and you're only speaking honestly now? But I know it's a commonly used phrase, sleepwalker. Um, I would I would avoid it personally, but maybe some other people don't mind this phrase too much. I just don't like it. But yeah, a lot of people use this. Honestly speaking, I think, and they would give their opinion. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Personally, I just don't like it very much, I think. Layla, haven't heard this phrase to sum up. I don't know the exact meaning, but of course that means in the end of something. Yeah, to sum up means exactly the same as to summarize, or in conclusion. Exactly the same. To sum up means to summarize. Um, to start from it. You're talking about honestly speaking. Yeah, that would usually, honestly speaking, would be usually at the beginning of your sentences. Yeah, I guess sum up is like summarize. Perfect, Anna Maria. That's exactly what it is like. And in conclusion, I believe that spending most of my time with my family is very significant. In addition, studying English is the most part of my life. Do you mean the most important part or most significant? So I think we need another word between most and part in here, Layla. Um, Ramdon, in conclusion, I think British accents are very hard to say and practice. That's why we should say and practice every day. So I would change the word say here to speak. I think that would be a better way. I think British accents are very hard to speak and practice. That's why we should speak and practice every day. Oh no, my previous one had some typos. Don't worry, Layla. That's okay. The most important part of my life. Yeah, very good. All right, let's move on to our next part today, which I think is the most important one we're going to look at today, stating your opinion. So, in the personal essay, in the writing test, you're going to be giving your opinion. In the IELTS speaking test, you're going to be giving your opinion in part 1, 2, and 3. So it's always good to vary the words you use when stating your opinion. And I'm going to look at some different phrases because sometimes when people are in the speaking test, they maybe repeat the same thing over and over again. Like they use, well, I think, and the next question, I think. So rather than just repeating the same phrase, we can use some different phrases. So we could start our answer with I think, or I believe, or in my view, in my opinion, from my point of view, even things like it seems to me that, or personally, I believe that. So all of these are good phrases for you to use. Now, when you're in the exam, rather than only using I think, well, the first question you could use I think. Next question is in my view, or from my point of view, or in my opinion. So having a number of different phrases is always really useful so that you can vary your vocabulary and help improve your lexical resource score. So let's look at some examples here. So some of the questions you might get are things like, what do you think of, or what do you think about? How do you feel about? What's your opinion of? So when we're answering these, let's look at this example question. What do you think about Italian food? Well, two different answers. One answer is positive, one is negative, but it doesn't matter which of the opening statements we use. So, in my opinion, Italian food is among the best in the world. Or I think most of Italian food tastes the same, so it's a little boring. So, we're just using two of those different phrases, but it's meaning the same thing. What do I believe? What do I think? What is my opinion? So, again, let's look at another question. How do you feel about rap music? I believe rap music is the leading music genre in the world these days, and it's only going to become more popular. So, there's a positive response. From my point of view, rap music is a little repetitive and doesn't really interest me that much. So, there's a negative. It doesn't really matter just now about positive and negative answers. What's important is that we're looking at these opening statements here, giving your opinion. I believe from my point of view. So, Layla has given another one. Let's go back for a second here. Layla has said, in my case, yeah. So I think this is also useful. I think possibly in my case is more useful when we're giving examples. So maybe not when we're giving our opinion, but when we're giving an example about our life, we could use in my case. I think that's a good thing to use. And I'm going to show you something about that a little bit later. Authentic Italian cuisine. Yes, that's something, Sleepwalker, that's quite difficult to find except in Italy, because every country changes the cuisine a little bit. So yeah, authentic meaning real. On my side, no, no, I don't think on my side would be an appropriate one to give your opinion. So rather than on my side, I think what you'd be trying to say here from my point of view, or maybe even from my side would be possible. But yeah, I have just known very when it comes as a very is a synonym to change or differ. Sorry, Layla, I'm not sure what the question is here. If you could clarify that, that would be great. Um, for me, yeah, I think this is possible. For me, so again, this would be maybe when we've given an introduction and then we're giving our personal opinion after. Yep. Firstly, secondly, thirdly, yeah, these phrases are useful when we're making a list of reasons, and I'm going to come to that in a later tip, Sleepwalker, when we want to support our reasons and we want to add some extra information. So, firstly, secondly, thirdly are not useful when we are giving our opinion, but they are useful when we are giving reasons to support that opinion. And we will talk about that in just a few minutes. To summarize, Bogota traffic is a mess. Very good sentence there. So what have we got? Okay, Anna Maria, in my opinion, Italian food is one of the best. It's authentic and delicious. You feel you are having a trip to Italy through their food. Excellent. I think both the words think and guess are really hard to tell the difference. I think you mean the word guess. Guess. No, because guess is we don't know the answer, but we are making a guess. But we don't know the answer. Think is when we do know the answer and we are giving our opinion. So when we use the word guess, which I think you're meaning Guess. Guess is when we don't really know, but we're trying to give an answer. Think is when we do know and we're giving a definite opinion on this. Personally, I adore rap music and I'm a fan of Eminem, the most famous American rapper. Excellent. In a situation where I can use think and guessed. So if somebody's asking for your opinion, you can use think. If somebody's asking and you don't really know the answer, I guess it could be this. So maybe somebody says, "What is the largest lake in the world?" Well, I don't know that answer. I don't know what the largest lake in the world is, but I guess it could be Lake Superior in the US. I don't know, but I guess. So I think that's a kind of way that we could see that these are different. Think is usually using to give our opinion on something. In all cocker opinion. Okay, so I think we want to say, in my opinion, Italian food is the best. So, in my opinion, Italian food is the best. Sorry, I have a lot of typos. I mean, I've just known that when very word comes as a verb means differ or change. It's another yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you've learned that recently, maybe in Robin's class. Okay, I understand now, Layla. It seems to me I use that often before myself, but I've noticed. Um, yeah, this is a good point, Sleepwalker. It seems to me I know people that do use this, but certainly it is not commonly used. It seems to me it's not a commonly used phrase, but people do use this. So it seems to me that the world population is growing too quickly, something like that. But yeah, it's not so commonly used, but it definitely is used. Sleepwalker. Yeah. In my opinion, Indian food is the best. That is my opinion as well, Anna Maria. I am a big fan of Indian food. I love cooking it. I love even more eating it. But great sentence. In my opinion, Indian food is the best. You're welcome, Romdom. From my point of view, Italian cuisine is one of the best in the world. I found some recipes and cooked myself too. Excellent there. Caspian Sea, despite its name, is often regarded as the world's largest lake. Thank you very much, Robin. So, this is a great example of how we use I guess. Now, my guess was wrong, but that was me just making a guess. Robin, can you check? Oh, Robin's way ahead of me here. Lake Superior is the largest freshwater lake in the world by area. So I was almost correct. Yeah. Um Thank you very much, Robin. Could we short this phrase to just seems instead of it seems to me? Not really, Sleepwalker. So if we're just using seems, Um, yeah, the thing with it seems to me is you're showing here that it is your opinion. It's coming from you. Just using maybe it seems. Yeah, you could use it seems that. That's fine. It seems that, and that's you basically trying to say that from what you can see, this is happening. So I would just put it seems that would be better rather than just seems. In my opinion, Turkish food is the best. It is very tasty. I think anyone will taste it. Now, I'll change this. Anyone that tastes it will like it as well. So I think anyone that tastes it will like it as well. And I got it. Thank you, James. You are welcome. Okay, we're going to move on to our last group of phrases, and that is supporting your opinion. So once we have stated our opinion, the examiner will expect you to back that up. And the most common way to do this is by giving reasons or maybe also giving examples to support those reasons. And there are some useful ways we could do this. Now, Sleepwalker earlier today mentioned the words firstly, secondly, finally. They're a good way if you're giving many different reasons to support one thing. That's an excellent way to do it. So you can think about them as well. But I've just kind of stuck to being one main reason we're giving. So the phrases I've got here are one reason for this is, one of its main advantages is, or this appeals to me because. Now, if we want to add more information to our reason, we can use some other words. We could use also, or we could use moreover, or furthermore. So, when we are trying to give these reasons, these expressions just make it kind of easier for the examiner to know that you have given your opinion. Now you are explaining the reasons for that opinion. So, some useful phrases here. Then, if we're adding more information to our opinion, we can add it by using words like moreover, furthermore. We could also use also there as well. Now, as Sleepwalker had said earlier on, firstly, secondly, finally, if you're doing the writing exam and the question is asking you to explain and give numerous reasons for your answer, you could do this. You could also use firstly, secondly, and finally on part two of the speaking exam, where we have to give a long answer with very detailed reasons and examples. But I thought for today, we're just going to keep it to one reason, and then if we want to add more information. So, what I've done here is I've tried to put together four different aspects of the useful phrases we've done today. So, going back to our question, what do you think about Italian food? Well, I've used an expression to give my opinion. In my opinion, Italian food is among the best in the world. Now, I'm going to give a reason and use some of today's vocabulary. Then I will add some extra information, giving some or using some of today's vocabulary. So, one reason for this is that the ingredients are usually fresh and are well matched with each other. Furthermore, there are a lot of different types of dishes, so we can discover many different flavors. Now, at the end, I'm going to use one of my conclusion sentences, closing statements. So that's why I believe Italian food is some of the best food in the world. So, again, introduction, conclusion, very, very similar sentences. I've also used my language to give a reason and to add extra information. Now, this is going to be important for the homework that I give you later. But I thought also it's just a good way to show how we can involve this language into a full spoken or written answer. Okay, let us quickly move on to a test. Oh, before we do this, Lavanya, in my opinion, I will. Now, this isn't really your opinion here, so I don't think we need this, Lavanya. You're just giving me something, I will cook Indian food and give you. And I think, Lavanya, your Indian food is going to be much more authentic and much tastier than the Indian food that I cook. But yeah, okay, I would love to try some of your Indian food, Lavanya. So I'm going to give you a short test here. And in the test, it's nothing difficult today. I'm just checking that you've maybe understood the vocabulary correctly. So what I'm going to do, I have got 4 sentences here with 1 blank space. I want you to write the answer. So I'm sorry, I didn't fully something the question. I'm afraid I didn't quite something that. I'm sorry, would you remind something? Okay. Could you something that again, please? So let's see if you can write some of your answers in the chat. So just like Sleepwalker has done here, she has written number 1, catch. I'm sorry, I didn't fully catch the question. Okay. Oh, so for number 1, Anna Maria is saying understand, I think. Understand. Okay. How about number 2? I didn't quite get that. Okay, Ali, which number is that? Is that number 1, 2, 3, or 4? So we should maybe know which number question you are answering. Now, Sleepwalker is saying, I didn't quite get that. Now, look at the word it and the word that. They wouldn't usually follow. Okay. I don't fully get the question. I didn't fully catch the question. Okay. Catch. Number 3, would you repeat the question? Okay. Sleepwalker, for number 3, you're almost correct. You just need to change the grammar of repeat a little bit. We need to use a different tense here. Okay. Okay, could you repeat that again? Okay. Could you explain that again? Okay. Ramadan, my well, Ramadan, if you join our WhatsApp group, there's lots of people that you can ask to be speaking partners with. You can also leave some spoken messages on the WhatsApp group and we can respond to you as well. So, yeah, if you join that group, that could be good. Now, here we would have to change the grammar from heard to hear. We are using the past tense here, didn't. So we cannot use the past tense for this verb here. So we need to change that a little bit. Now, this one's not possible. I didn't quite clarify that. No. We would ask something, could you clarify that? Anna Maria, yes. Would you mind repeating the question? Would you mind repeating? That would be good. Yeah. So rather than to repeat, Sleepwalker, repeating. Repeating. I didn't quite catch that. Very good. Number 4, could you repeat that again? I think there's a better way to say this. Repeating, would you mind repeating the question? Okay. Could you say that again, please? Excellent, Layla. So let's look at some of these. Now, I'm sorry I didn't fully get the question, understand the question, catch the question. All of them would be fine. Number 2, I'm afraid I didn't quite understand that, get that, catch that. All of them would be fine. This one, there's only one answer really. I'm sorry, would you mind repeating the question? Actually, here, would you mind clarifying the question? Could be okay as well. Repeating or clarifying might be okay there. So sorry, Layla, I think you said clarifying earlier. So if that was correct, I do apologize. And then for number 4, could you say that again, please? I think is the best one for this. So I think, yeah. Oh, sorry, Eunice, I missed your answer. You did get that correct. Could you say that again, please? Okay. What do we think about these 3? So remember, write your number and your answer. Number and answer. Number and answer. Let's write those in the chat. Now, could you rephrase that? We wouldn't use again. So if you wanted to just use rephrase that, that would be okay. Could you rephrase that? But because we're using again, we can't use rephrase because that's what that means, to do something again. So that one wouldn't be possible. But if you took away again, that would be possible. Could you rephrase that? Don't worry about James. Okay. That's a great question. Very good. Great. I'd have to say, great question. Good question. Also possible. Very good, Romdom. Ali, number 1, though, that's maybe you're meaning tough. If it was tough, TOUGH, I think that's possible. That's a tough question. Great, good, very good. I'd have to say that. I'd like to say that. Very good, Anna Maria. That is also possible. What about number 3? Romdon saying I'd have to say for number 2. Excellent. Let me tell you about. Very good, Anna Maria. Let me tell you. I have to say that. I'd like to say that. Very good. All right. So I think for number 1, that's a fantastic, that's a good question. That's an excellent question, I suppose. I'd like to say that, or I'd have to say that. Let me tell you about. Very good. Okay. Can we remember this? So some of these are more to do with the prepositions and things. So we've got something conclusion, to something up. We've got something summarize. So that's something. What have we got here? Sleepwalker saying in conclusion. Eunice is saying in for number 1. And Layla in, Ali in, Romdom in. Very good. All of you got that one. For number 2, Sleepwalker, to sum up. Eunice is saying some. Ali saying sum up. Very good. Oh, Anna Maria, number 1 in, and some. Lavanya, wrong. Okay. Number 3, Eunice, to summarize. Good. And number 4, so that's why. Very good. Ali. Sleepwalker, to summarize. Excellent. To sum up, Layla. Excellent. Oh, sorry. Sleepwalker, that was for number 3. Yeah. Okay. And Ali, to summarize. Very good. Anna Maria, to summarize. To summarize, Layla. Eunice for number 4. That's why. So that's why. Excellent. Number 3, Romdom 2. And number 4, why. Very good. Excellent, guys. So we got all of these ones. In conclusion, to sum up, to summarize. So that's why. Okay. These ones are a little bit more difficult. So I've got a full sentence here. Something that education is very important. What do you think could be a missing word here? In my something, children should be encouraged to exercise more. Number three, from an environmental something of view, electric cars are better than diesel cars. Something, I believe that a shorter work week would benefit most employees. So, um, Eunice is saying, I take it this is for number one. I believe that education is very important. Sleepwalker is saying, I think. Yep, that could be good. For number two, Eunice is saying, in my opinion. Number one, Anna Maria is saying, think. Good. Oh, Ali is saying, I would say that. That's also very good as well. Nice. Um, in my point of view, no. So this one here, we wouldn't have in my point of view. When we use this, that would be from my point of view. From my point of view. In my would be followed by a different word. Okay. Juju K, I take as true that education is very important. Um, I think it's possible to use this, but very, very uncommonly used. I think there's much better vocabulary we could use for this. Anna Maria is saying, in my opinion, very good. Eunice, number three, from an environmental point of view, very good. Ali, in my opinion, for number two, good. Juju K, opinion, very good. Layla, I believe, very good for number one. Juju, number 3 point, good. Number 4, Eunice is saying personally, good. Sleepwalker, point of view, excellent for number 3. Layla, number 2, in my opinion, good. Now, this one here, from an environmental opinion of view, that doesn't work together. Opinion of view doesn't really work as a phrase here, Anna Maria. So this wouldn't work for number 3. Personally, good. From my point of view, so in the sentence, it's from an environmental point of view. So not my point of view, from an environmental. And in my view, yeah, yep, in my view is possible. I think from my view as well, but I think the best one here is opinion. Yeah, so Tessa Falem is using opinion. Very good. In conclusion, yeah, I think that's possible for here. Yeah. Furthermore, could be possible for that as well. Yeah, yeah. Okay, and lots of other ones coming in. So I believe I could, in my view or in my opinion, from an environmental point of view. I think this was the only one where there would be one answer. And personally, I believe, but also if we're adding an extra idea, furthermore, I believe, moreover, I believe, if it is at the end, in conclusion, I believe could be possible as well. Okay, what do we think here? Something reason for this is that most people in my country enjoy outdoor life. One of its main something is that it reduces carbon emissions. This something to me because I like to eat out with my friends and family. Something, it includes lots of extra features such as. So, what do we think? Oh, Leila, you're quick this time. One reason for this is that most people in my country enjoy outdoor life. Okay. Does anybody else have any other answers for 2, 3, or 4? Or number 1, do you have a different answer? Juju is saying the. Yep. If there's only one reason we are going to give, then we could use the. Yep, that would be fine here. The first reason for this, yep, sleepwalker, that could be good here. For number 2, one of its main reason. Now, here we cannot use reason. Now, if we look at the sentence further, this is talking about a positive thing. One of its main something is that it reduces carbon emissions. So this is a positive thing. So what word could we use here to mean positive? One of its main advantage. Now, that's almost correct, Juju. We just need to add something onto the end of this. One of its main benefits. Very good, Eunice. So we can use the word benefits, or we can use advantages as well. Yeah. Another reason for this. Good, Anna Maria. That's possible. This appeals to me, Romdom. Excellent. This appeals to me. Very good. This is important to me. Very good as well. This is also acceptable. Advantages. Very good, Anna Maria. Sleepwalker. Furthermore. Very nice. All right. Let's have a look at our answers here. So we could say one reason, or the first reason, or a reason, or the reason. There could be many here. One of its main advantages, or one of its main benefits, is that it reduces carbon emissions. Both are good. This appeals to me because I think Sleepwalker wrote, "This is important to me." That's also a good answer there. And moreover, furthermore, also, all of them would have been good answers, I think, for the last one. Okay, we are getting close to the end. So let's just do a summary of the 5 kind of different things, the types of expressions that we can use to help our IELTS speaking and writing scores. The first group of expressions were all about clarifying the question. Then we tried to use some opening statements, closing statements, statements for stating your opinion, and then statements to support your opinion. So, what I'm going to do for your homework today is we're going to use kind of 3 language points. We're going to state your opinion, support your opinion, and when we're supporting your opinion, you are also going to add extra information. And then I want you to use a closing statement. So I'll give you an example. Do you remember earlier on when I gave you this full example? This is what I want you to do in the homework. So please remember, write your answers to the homework in the comment section of the YouTube video. Don't write your homework answer in the chat. No, wait until the video is uploaded to YouTube and write your answer in the comments section there. So what I want you to do is practice using an opening statement, giving your opinion. Practice a statement that is giving a reason to support the opinion. Use something that will add extra information, and then use a conclusion sentence. So again, in my opinion, Italian food is among the best in the world. One reason for this is that the ingredients are usually fresh and are well matched with each other. Furthermore, there are a lot of different types of dishes, so we can discover many different flavors. So that's why I believe Italian food is some of the best food in the world. So that was my example for this question. I want you to try and do something similar, but this is today's question. How do you feel about shopping in department stores? So when you write your answer, I want you to state your opinion. I want you to then give a reason for that opinion and then use a phrase to give an extra reason and then give a conclusion sentence. So, the homework question: how do you feel about shopping in department stores? So, remember, you can use all of the different expressions that I've taught throughout today's lesson. There are lots of different ways that you can use the vocabulary. So, everyone, that is your homework. If you have any questions today, please write them in the chat because we are about to wrap up today's live stream. So anything you want to ask, you should ask within the next minute or so because we will be finishing soon. Now, we had, furthermore, Layla had answered for number 4, was good. Additionally, there's another good word coming from Eunice. Very, very nice. Sleepwalker, it concerns me because. Would it sound good? Yes, it would sound good if you're talking about something that is a problem. So maybe you're saying, I think there are too many cars on the road. It concerns me because cars cause a lot of pollution. So, yeah, it concerns me because is possible, especially when we're talking about negative impacts. In addition to is another good one. Eunice is saying, thanks a lot, teacher. This video is very helpful for me. I'd say that it's one of the most important keys to succeed in my writing. Very good. I think having structure is very important and also being able to vary the phrases that you use is very important for your writing. You are welcome, Layla, and Anna Maria. You are also welcome. And advantages, yes, Juju, you had missed out the S before. So yes, advantages. It's not only useful for IELTS. Yes, I think a lot of this language is not only for IELTS. We can use this in everyday English speech a lot of the time. Yep. And Juju is saying, thank you so much, Mr. James. You are very, very welcome, Juju. So we're going to finish the live stream there today. I hope you found this useful. Please remember, anybody that is watching the video after the live stream is over, you can ask any questions in the comments section. Also, you can do the homework there. Please remember, everyone, to like the video and subscribe to our channel. And I hope to see you very soon in another live stream. Sleepwalker is just giving one final comment. James, do you agree that a person adds in every sentence such as... Yeah, you've got to watch. This is a great point, actually, Sleepwalker. You don't want to add them all of the time. Because, yeah, if you're adding an introductory sentence at the beginning of everything you're saying, it will sound unnatural. But in an interview situation or in the IELTS speaking situation, I think it's very important to have them at the beginning of your answers. If you are using more than one introductory phrase, make sure you don't keep repeating the same one. Change them around a little bit. But I think in everyday speech, sometimes it wouldn't sound so natural. but in interview situations or in the IELTS speaking situation, it is very, very useful, Sleepwalker. But I think that's a great point. You missed the start. Well, you can go back and watch again, Juju. Don't you worry about that. Thank you, Ramdan, and have a nice Sunday for everyone. You too, Ali. I hope you have a great Sunday too. When I hear them, yeah, it does sound a little weird when you hear it too much. So, like all of these expressions we teach, learn how to use them. We don't want to over use them as if they've learned and memorized the speech. Exactly. Yeah. So, yeah, we don't want to sound like we're a robot and have memorized things. So use these expressions sparingly. Don't overuse them. That's a great point, Sleepwalker. Oh, Robin's here. Robin's saying, James, I thought I would make a new record yesterday for our longest live. Why did you have to be? Oh, sorry, Robin. I didn't realize it was so long today. I will remember to try and make my future streams a little shorter. Um, yes, I didn't expect so many responses today. You are welcome, Sleepwalker. Yes. Sorry, Tesfalem. The WhatsApp group link is in the video description, so just click on that link. Okay, everyone, we're going to finish there. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next live stream. Bye for now.